Welcome. So over here, we're going to talk about wreck diving, Carlisle Bay, Barbados. What we did right and things we needed to work on. Clearly, after every dive, we like to actually take a look and see what we did good and what we didn't. As you saw in my last video in Cozumel in the caves, we did some good things there. So my head is still recovering from some of the bad things. So really, the location, Carlisle Bay, Barbados, is an amazing place. It's like a marine park that they set up, and there are approximately 7 wrecks in that marine park. Notably, there is a big ship that's there, and that ship is there, and it has a forward gun placement actually on it, so it's like a Coast Guard vessel sitting in between 40 and 47 feet of water when you enter it in that regard. And I'll put some video up on this and show you our penetration dive. It was a pretty phenomenal wreck. We had a lot of good times doing it, and it was a lot of fun. But I want to talk about a little bit more about the equipment we used here, because we took some video while we were down here. We took some still pictures and video. So we used our SeaLife SportDiver smartphone housing. We used the red filter that came with that because it was a clear day, but it was kind of windy, so things were kicked up a little bit. It is a smart housing, so when you set this camera up in the housing, there's plenty of videos out there to do it, and the manufacturer certainly does a good job of that. But I would definitely say that when you set it up, make sure you're in a dry location. That's one of the lessons learned here, right? Because if you're not in a dry location, this thing, if you try to set up the camera on the boat, you have moisture in the air, and the sensors for the moisture go off, and it prevents you from getting a seal that you want, because it acts like it's on the seal, like it's working, but really the seal is not working, and it will prevent you from doing it. It gives you the alert, leak detected. And so you really have to go to the back of the boat, make sure you seal it out, get everything done. So my advice is, let's do that before we go out. A place like Barbados, it's super close to the dive shop to go out there. We went out with Barbados Blue, fantastic dive operation in that regard. We stayed within our limit, within our certification limits and everything else, so we were great in that way. We used the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Yeah, I really put the iPhone underwater. Now, I'll be truth be told, I do want to selfishly upgrade to the iPhone 14 Pro Max Plus, I think they call it. And so okay, it's not so bad that I attempted this on an iPhone 11. But what an amazing phone, and what an amazing camera. It's got the 3 lenses on one side, and so it takes great pictures. And this is underwater, so you're going to see iPhone 11 footage underwater. And I gotta admit, I love my GoPro, but man, I am really loving the SeaLife and iPhone combination. Apple makes fantastic products, and it's just going to be a real challenge for me not to switch back. I might take both down next time, but really, my daughter, she was really going behind us, and she was doing some of the editing and filming. So with that being said, let's go ahead and cut over to the video now. Here we are. Look at the gun placement on the forward part of the boat. It's pretty cool. Now, before we start going in the boat, we're actually going to do a swim around to look at the boat and get perspective of what's going on. So the idea is, while we're swimming around the boat, there's another team going into the boat doing their dive. So we're both led with dive masters. So the team 1, we'll call them, is in the boat right now. Now, look at these doors. They're narrow. These aren't exactly big doors. So that's kind of wild. You're going to fit these little tiny portholes, and you can see through in a lot of this. Look at the boat. A lot of it's cut out and everything intentionally, where you can penetrate and go into different sections of the boat. But it's not like they're cut out wide. These things are pretty tight. And that's one of our challenges, right? Going through it. And you see, we're getting to the back of the boat now. It takes a couple minutes, but I wanted to give you perspective, so I filmed the whole thing and didn't cut it. So get back here. Here we go. You see that diver to my left? He's going up there, and he's coming out of the boat. So he's already done one penetration dive. He's coming from the front, and he's coming out to the back. That's the idea. So Team 1 is going in right now, and Team 2, that's us. We're swimming around the boat on Team 2. We're going there. Around the boat, we see nothing, right? We see sand. There's just nothing there. Let's go ahead and come back to the boat here in just a second. We're fixated on that, or adjusting our equipment, and we're going up. All right. Before we go in, this is the hole that you actually enter through. It's kind of creepy. Now, here we are going to the boat. First door, not such a drama. Going there, that's my daughter following me. She's going in. And then I'm flashing a light back. It's kind of a little bit dark in there, to be honest. So I got through the door, flashed a back light where she could See, I get stuck. I didn't know what I got stuck with. I had to back up and deal with it. You see me backing up? And I couldn't figure out what it was. But I had that surface marker buoy, and I had the octopus. And I had the octopus on a clip on my BCD where it was clipped, and I was getting really good for controlling my buoyancy. But it was a challenge, right? Because it pulled off the clip, and it had a loop, and it got caught in that door, and I had to turn sideways to get through. And you're going to see it hanging here. And I couldn't really see it while I was diving. I didn't know it had gotten pulled off of me. So the surface marker buoy and the octopus both turned into like liabilities. See the octopus hanging there? It wasn't hanging when we started. Everything was sealed and put away. And then here you go. You see that I'm starting to exit the boat and come out the other side, which is really a big wide opening and a lot of fun. So really pretty in there. Really nice. So here I am in the back of the boat. Spinning around, signaling to my daughter, hey, come on out, let's go check this out. And let's get out of this thing. So it was kind of fun. We got into the key piece, we were exiting out, big, wide exit. Maybe we should have came in that way. It was a little less ominous than coming through those tiny doors. And then we started heading towards the other 7 wrecks in Carlisle Bay. And if we started heading out, you're going to see our next thing. We found this anchor just sitting in the middle of it. And there it is, just an anchor. So with that, I'll move on to our lessons learned. Okay, lessons learned. Here's what we learned. Be careful not to kick up too much silt. Also, secure your extra equipment carefully. Just not enough to secure it. We've always been clipping it on and doing all those other things, but that octopus was a real problem. I was not happy about that, catching that in that thin doorway. We have to come up with a better way of doing it, and me sticking across my BC was certainly not the answer, because it had a hook and it was just catching onto things. So we have to work on this octopus, maybe loop it down and through for wreck diving or something of that nature. So we're going to have to really work on this octopus. I'm a bigger guy. My daughter was smaller, so she didn't have the problem. But for bigger people, that's not going to work so easily. Surface marker buoy also, I had it on my BCD. My BCD does not have a pocket. Couldn't put it away. Now what we did right, we didn't panic. When we got to that part where we got stuck in the doorway, it was annoying. My nerves jumped up real fast. And I was like, I'm stuck. What do I do? So I went backwards, turned sideways, came through. Like that, by turning sideways and getting closer to the other door, I was able to release the pressure. I could tell what side I was stuck on. Couldn't tell exactly what got me stuck, but I did. I did listen to Dive Masters, which was good. They told me how to do it. They actually said turn your head to the left and that will get you through. These Dive Masters are some tiny people too, by the way. So they're turning to the left and we turning to the left for two different things. We stayed within our capabilities. We did not really exceed. We didn't go into dark places. We couldn't see the other side. We stayed within our capabilities and our certifications. We secured everything we had on ourselves, even if it wasn't really secured enough. So certainly that was cool. Also, we captured a cool video using an iPhone. I never thought I'd see the day to do that. I expected a GoPro to do this. I did not expect my iPhone to do this, but it was pretty awesome.